This is going to be a high-level overview of Chronicall as it relates to Cisco and Unified Communications Manager. Chronicall is supported on Cisco version 7 through 11.5. It is also supported on the 6K, 6KS, and 7K. It is not supported on the 4K or Call Manager Express. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into how Chronicall works and how it integrates within the Cisco platform. What you're currently looking at here is the login screen to Chronicall. Now you can access Chronicall a couple different ways. Through a web browser like I'm currently using, or you can download this Chronicall desktop tool, which installs it as a client on the supervisors or managers or IT department's PC. You can install that on as many PCs as you want, and that works with Windows as well as Macs. The software itself has to be installed on a Windows or Linux server. The server requirements are on our website. They're very minimal, but you can find those in it. And of course, it depends on how many people we're logging data for, if you're doing call recording and our other different modules. So let's go ahead and log into the software here. I'm going to go ahead and log in as an administrator, but the nice thing about Chronicall is you get as many logins or supervisor licenses as you want. There is no charge for supervisor logins. So that's a great advantage for Cisco customers right there and Cisco partners. So it's very easy to create those. You just come in here and you go to user management, because I'm logged in as an administrator, and you go to user accounts, and then you can create those different roles. You have administrator, manager, and users. Users is where you can restrict their access. So maybe you only want a supervisor to have access to their team or their department. Maybe they only have certain permissions of what they can do. Do they have read-write permissions on the wallboards, or can they only view those? The difference between an administrator and manager has access to all the software. An administrator has access to all the software and the IT settings, so such as the IP addresses of Chronicall, the IP address of the Cisco system, the UCCX, Unity, all of that information. And all of that's done during installation, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and dive into the modules. When I say modules, Chronicall is broken down into different modules. Those modules are reporting, call recording, and real-time displays. And then we also have agent dashboard displays. Now, the reason why we do this in modules is because every company is unique. One company may be really interested in reporting, where another company is more interested in reporting and recording, or maybe reporting and real-time. You pick and choose and purchase the modules that fit your business needs. The only base software is our reporting. So every customer is going to have our call reporting, but you can set up who you want to report on. So if the CEO, CFO, whoever doesn't want their call details to be logged, you can take them out so it doesn't log those details. But let's go ahead and dive into the reports. With the reports, you have a lot of different options. Very easy to use. As you can see, you got a nice clean interface. I can run reports here on the left-hand side. And when you do that, it goes to our canned reports. There are over 60 canned reports built within Chronicall. And the reason for that is, again, every company is unique, so you can report on whatever it is you're looking for. We have a lot of different types of reports. You can report on account codes. You can report on your agents. And let me clarify the term agent. Whenever you see agent in our software, that is just referring to an extension on the Cisco phone system. So a lot of times a user might have multiple directory numbers. All of those are going to show up, but the first extension on their phone is going to be their primary extension number. That's what you'll see next to their name. Okay, so you can run reports on all of those, and as you can see, there's a lot of different types of agent reports. You could do call costing if you want to bill back to departments, so the traditional call accounting, if you will, and you can create those departments defined as roles. You could do caller ID reports, call direction reports, external party or external number. So if you want to run a report and see how many times did a customer call us or how many times did we call that customer, you can do that. You can run reports on your groups. This includes a lot of different types of groups. You have the generic hunt lists found within Cisco that we can report on. You can run report on your UCCX groups, your call service queues. And you can also do shared lines. So if you have a line, a directory number on multiple phones, those show up as group calls because multiple people might answer that phone. And so those show up as group calls. Okay, you can do standard local number reports. This is really nice for marketing departments. So if they want to see how many times a specific phone number is called or how many times they called from a specific area, you can do that with that local number report. And then you could do time interval. Time interval are some of my favorite reports because this is going to give you a lot of summary information, but you can drill down by specific hours out of the day or days of the week. So if you want to look at your inbound call performance or just a simple summary or lost call summary, your abandoned calls, when are you losing those? Or queue call volume. Let's just go with the simple inbound call performance. You can also do service levels as you see right here. But it's very easy to run a report. You just select your date and time range. You just highlight the days that you want. If I want to go back certain months, I can do that. You can go back as long as Chronicall has been logging data. So if it's been logging for 3 years, you can go run reports for 3 years. I'm just going to go ahead and pick on a week here. We'll just do the last week of October there. By default, it is looking at all 24 hours out of the day, but you can change that. You can create shifts. You can do just specific days of the week. So if I wanted to select an entire month and be like, only show me Mondays, I could do that. Okay, so it's very easy. Go ahead and hit OK. Then you select the format. This is a time interval. Well, what time format do you want to see this in? Do you want to see it broken down by hours out of the day, minutes out of the hour, months of the year, days of the week, days of the month per row? As you can see, there's a lot of different formats. I'll go with hours out of the day. In this one, I'm going to drill down by groups. So if I select groups here you can see all the groups. It pulls all that information from your system, so you don't have to do any programming. You just need to put a checkbox next to which groups you want to see. I'll just go ahead and do that appointments group. Okay, you can add charts. With every single Chronicall standard report, every single value you can add charts to, and you can do line charts, you can do pie charts, you can do bar charts. You get to pick and choose. So I had a customer, all they wanted to see was pie charts. You can do that, and you can make them bigger or smaller. You just click, drag side by side, grab the edges, and you can make those bigger or smaller. I'll go ahead and do that first one as a simple line chart, and we'll just make that a little bit bigger. There we go. You can run the reports in 4 different formats. By default, it defaults to PDF, but you can change that to Excel spreadsheet, HTML, or CSV. I'll stick with PDF and hit Run Report. And that's how easy it is to run a report in there. Return very quickly. And here's what the reports look like. It puts a summary up at the top. We don't put our summary at the bottom because if you run a long report, you don't want to scroll down to the bottom to see what are the totals. So it does that for you up at the top. And then you can see it breaks it down by hours out of the day. So I can see, oh, I had 2,000 plus calls. Well, when did those calls come in? What hours out of the day? And there I can see, yeah, typical 8 to 5 are kind of my busiest hours. We're kind of under around 40 calls after hours, but over 120 or plus, sometimes almost 200 calls an hour. Okay, and then I can go through and I can see my answer percentages, abandoned percentages, average abandoned wait time. How long are customers waiting before they go abandoned? Average speed of answer. How quickly am I getting to the calls? There, this isn't good. Average speed of answer is almost the same time as average abandoned wait time. Okay, so that's an area where you might want to improve. And you can drill down into this information if you want to see that in greater detail, which I'll show you here in a minute. But as you can see, a lot of different types of information you can get with the reports. They're very easy to run. Once you find the reports that you want, you can also schedule them to run. So you don't even have to log into the software. You can just have it automatically emailed to you or saved to the directory or printed. You just go ahead and right-click, schedule those reports. And again, you can email them, save to the directory, or print, or a combination of any of the 3, and you can send that to multiple email addresses. Okay, so you can schedule that. So as you see, reports are very easy to run. If I wanted to go run an agent report, or a big one that I've seen a lot of Cisco customers want is abandoned calls. And they can see some of this in the native CDR reports, but they can't break it down by group. Maybe you want to see that, or by agent. You can do that here. Again, I select my date and time. Let's pick on that same week like we picked just barely. And I want to see the abandoned calls for my appointments group. I can drill that down. And we'll go ahead. And now, instead of seeing a summary or an hour out of the day, this is showing me each call line by line. So I can see exactly what happened, who the customer was. What number did they call to get in there? My system only has 4 digits. That's why you only see the last 4 digits of the phone number. The external party, where were they when they hung up? What group? Or were they ringing an agent? What were they doing? They ringing? They queuing? The date and time? How long did they sit in the system before they hung up? You can see all of that information. And of course, you have those summaries or the time intervals to group that information together if you want. But what makes Chronicall different than all the other call reporting solutions out there on Cisco is our call detail view, or sometimes referred to as cradle to grave. This is what's going to set the solution apart. This is what customers are really looking for, because oftentimes when people run reports, they might look at a report and they go, wow, is that right? Did we really have that many abandoned calls? Are we really taking that long to answer calls? We'll take the guesswork out of it and drill down and see every call detail as it happened in a chronological order. Now, this only works if we're logging every single extension in that system. If you're only logging certain extensions and it goes to one of those extensions, it kind of ends the call there. But if you're logging everything, you're going to see all of the details. There I just expanded the calls. So I can see exactly what happened in a chronological order. And this is why I love our call detail view. You can see this call was an inbound call that lasted 7 minutes and 42 seconds. Well, what happened? You get a nice summary up at the top, but now we could see all of those different hops, if you will. You can see the auto attendant. If this went to a call service queue to UCCX, you would see the route point that it went to. You would see what group they selected, how long they queued or rang those agents, who answered it, what did they do with it. Oh, well, Mario put this call on Park. He then got picked up by Cynthia Hart, extension 1113. She transferred it, well, this is interesting, back to the appointments group, which she's a part of. That's useful information that everyone wants to know. So you can really start to drill down and see exactly what's happening on those calls. Okay, and you can see that for everything. And you can filter all this information. So if you don't want to look for everything, if you want to look at just specific calls, you can use this filter tool. And as you can see, there's a lot of options there to find what it is you're looking for. Now, one of the other nice things about our integration with Cisco is we're integrating using a lot of different methods. We're using the UCCX API. We're integrating using the CDR data, AXL, and JTAPI. So we get a lot of information. Well, the CDR, there's over 120 values. Well, you can add all of those views to this interface. So sometimes customers might want to be like, well, I could see where this went, what agent, but what phone did they make this from? Well, you can right-click on these column headers and you can add any of the CDR fields that you have. So if there's particular reports you want out of Cisco into Chronicall, you can get all of that. So for example, I'll just come in here and we'll do the originating device name and the destination device name. So we can see, as they're named in Cisco, exactly how it's seen, all that information, and it added them over here. So I can move this information around. I can format these columns in any format that I prefer. And there I have it. Now I can see, okay, what was the MAC address name? Or if you change that, obviously, what router or gateway did that go out of? Well, there's my gateway device because this was an inbound call, came in on the gateway, my PRI right there, and then ended at our UCCX route point, where this one here was an internal call. I can see the two different phones associated to that. So you can add all that Cisco CDR fields to all of the reports, which kind of leads me into the next transition, custom reports. What if we don't have the report that you're looking for? Or oftentimes customer asks for Excel formulas, or can I take this report and combine them together? Or maybe you don't agree with our definition of abandoned calls. That's the beautiful thing about Chronicall custom reports. Anyone can do this. You don't need to be a developer or a programmer. You can use our simple report wizard and you can create your own reports. So if I want to do an agent report, I come in here, okay, add, and here's all of Xima's default values. Okay, very, very simple. But the nice thing is as you click on these, they'll give you the information there, and I'll just start adding some of these just to show you how easy it is. Call count, we'll do that. But as I click on all of these, we'll do one more, event count. You'll notice underneath each of these, there's filter tools. So you can customize this. So maybe I want to see calls where the event type, this is looking at a specific event type, so I'll say ringing. We'll just say ringing. I want to see how many calls rang an agent for longer than a certain time period. So I'll come down here and I'll do event duration, which we set as ringing, had to be longer than 30 seconds. So I'm going to get a call count of how many calls rang plus 30, longer than 30 seconds. That's how much you can customize these reports. And if you want to do formulas like you can do in Excel, you can do that as well. So you can combine values, do percentages, text, percentages, true false statements, whatever it is that you're looking for, you can do that here within our formula creator. So a lot of nice things, and you can add all of those CDR values as well, all into the reports. Okay, so you can customize those, do a lot of different things. You can also rebrand the report. So if you don't like the Xima logo, you can put in your own logo, you can change the color scheme, you can do a lot of nice things with those reports. Let's move on to our next module, which is call recording. Call recording has been very beneficial for a lot of Cisco customers because of Cisco MediaSense going end of life. Customers are looking for a replacement for that, and they may not have a budget for a full-blown workforce optimization solution. So we can do that call recording just like MediaSense did. It uses the built-in bridge with the phone, so it's supported on most of the Cisco hard phones. Jabber clients, just not in an MRA. Okay, so you can come in here in our cradle to grave interface and see your recordings. They're right there. And as you can see, not every call is recorded. You get to pick and choose which calls get recorded. Just because you set it up using the built-in bridge doesn't mean we have to record the calls. Maybe you want to give the agent the option to press a button on their PC to manually record those calls. They get a little pop-up if they want to record it. That helps with PCI, HIPAA, and other compliance things. You can pause the recording from that same docking station, or you can have it use our API, which auto-pauses the recording if they open up a specific application, such as click into a place where to take credit card information. You can automatically pause that until they click out of there. Okay, so you have those information and those options available. But some of the nice features here is when I want to listen to a call, it's very simple. I just simply press play. It expands the call, so you see all the details, and then it opens up the simple embedded player where I can play, pause, fast forward, rewind. I can click and drag. I can do a few other things. If I have permissions, I can download this. I can email this. I can also generate an external link. So if I need to send this call to a particular customer, I can do that using this generate external link. And then I can also specify how long that link is available. Now, to do that, you do have to open up a few ports on your networks, or basically do a NAT translation so it can resolve to your internal IP address. Okay, we have documentation. We can help you with that as well. Okay, you can also add notes to this recording. So if I'm listening to the call and Mario was really short and then he put him on park and kind of left him there, maybe I want to leave a little note here. And I want to ask Mario why he left this customer on park. Kind of like a little reminder so I can find this call a little easier. It leaves that note there. You could search for those notes using the search tool or the filter tool. And you can see other people that have left notes, and you can see the username that they're logged into here. Okay, so really nice there. You can also score the calls. You can set up evaluations and scorecards, or quality assurances, sometimes it's referred to as, and you can score the recordings, and you can set that up for random sampling as well, because as you can see, not every recording qualifies for that. So you can pick calls on random, and then you can come in here and score those. Okay, here it opens up this player where you have your custom questions. Did the caller notify them that they would be recorded? Yes, they did. Did they stop the recording when they asked? No, they didn't. They kept that going, so we need to talk to them about that. Did they offer a payment plan? Again, these are custom questions. You can do yes, no, you can do 1 through 10, and you can do free-form text. And you can create as many of these evaluations and scorecards as you want, and you can do them here within our Cradle to Grave interface, or you can also do them here within our score recordings campaigns. Again, you can create those here. Here I have one for quality assurance, and I can start to score those as well, or modify my questions if I want. Okay, so a lot of different options you have there. You can also view your active recordings if you have that access to that view through this interface here. Coming in an update a little later this year, you'll be able to right-click and listen to those calls live if you have those permissions. So if you want to listen live, kind of help with coaching, things like that, you can do that here soon. Okay, let's move on to our real-time software. So there's our call recording. Very easy to set up, very easy to use, very affordable. Our real-time kind of takes historical reports and allows you to see what's going on in real time. So if you need to track what's going on within your queues, within your basic hunt lists, or just within your sales department, this works for every office user, every type of group that we integrate with. So you can come in here and you can view that a number of different ways. These are more supervisor type views. So this agent timeline allows supervisors to see what their agents are doing right now, as well as what they were doing in the past. So here's kind of their current state on the left-hand side, but as you can see, I could scroll back and see what was going on in the past. And I'm going to pick on Brian here. Brian right now is idle. He's logged into all of his groups, but he's idle. But what was happening earlier? Well, a few minutes ago, he was on a 14-minute billing call, so I can see the group that this call came into. And I'm mousing over that, and it shows me what happened. Well, then all of a sudden, the call went red, and he put this customer on hold for 1 minute and 59 seconds. And then look at the end of this call. Just all of a sudden idle again. This customer hung up because they were sitting on hold a little too long. Otherwise, it would look like this call here where you have talking, hold, and then they pick the call back up just for a few seconds. And a couple seconds later, he got another call, direct call, there's no group there, and it went to voicemail. So he must have walked away from his desk, and I can see that here. Why did he walk away? Maybe I want to ask. And oh, he's getting another call. We can watch here, see if he answers that one or misses if he's still away from his desk. You can see when agents are on Do Not Disturb. And he did answer this call, and I can see it was a sales call. So each color represents a different value. You can change those colors to be whatever you want. So if you don't like that green talking or purple voicemail, you can change those colors. You just click on those and it opens up a little color wheel and allows you to change those. Okay, so that's one view that you have. You have the agent timeline, you have the group timeline, which monitors your queues. Kind of the same idea. You can see which agents are logged into your queues. Do you have any calls in queue right now? Looks like I don't. I have some agents available here, things like that. But the view most people like is what's called our real-time stats. These are our wall boards that you can throw up on a flat screen TV. You can access them from a PC like I'm doing from a supervisor, and you can display virtually whatever value is important to you in real time. So this is very useful, again, like I mentioned, for users that have the hunt list that now have queuing enabled. Maybe they want visual management. They want to enhance that call center feature functionality. This gives them that. Or for customers that have UCCX, but it's a little difficult for supervisors to use. These wallboards anyone can create. Okay, so it augments or enhances the feature functionality that you get with the routing of UCCX, as well as the hunt list. Here I can see I've got a call in queue, and I have it changing colors based off thresholds. You can have it play audible alarms. You can also have it send notifications to the agents, which I'll show you here in a bit. But this is just one of our wallboards. The nice thing about these wallboards, again, is you can brand them. You can customize them. Here's one that we did for a taxi company. So that way, if they throw this up on a flat screen and you put it into a full screen mode and you can have it rotate between other wallboards, customers come on site, that's going to look something very customized or personalized. They could throw their logo in there instead of ours. Here's one we did for a wine retailer. Okay, so this is also going to set apart the solution for Cisco because these wallboards can do virtually whatever it is that you're looking for. Okay, you can use our template wallboard. So if I wanted to use a template, let me show you how easy it is. Use this two groups template. So it's going to allow me to monitor and compare two groups and their agents. So there's my groups, again, pulled directly from the system. We'll do the appointments and provider. And then I select my agents. And again, we have those roles, which are the departments. So I can do the same thing, appointments, and then provider. Or I could select the users over here one at a time. But I'll just do this simply the easy way. Hit OK. And there it is. Took me, I don't know, 20 seconds to build that wallboard. But if I wanted to customize it, if I wanted to build my own, I could just use blank one. And I have all these tools up here. So if I wanted to do some charts, some graphs, I could do this pie chart in here or a bar chart. I can do lots of different ways this is displayed. Maybe, you know, a stacked area chart. And we'll do this by group. And we'll pick on a few different groups here. There we go. We have a few different groups. What values do I want to see? Okay, well, I want to see how many calls were presented, how many calls were answered, and how many calls were missed. Very simple, very standard. Hit OK and apply. And it's starting to populate those. And if I wanted to change the color scheme of those, I can do that so they stand out a little bit more. Okay, so it's very easy to create those charts and graphs. Maybe I wanted a little gauge widget here to show me how many calls do I have in queue right now. Okay, again, you have your UCCX values as well, but we'll go with queued. Okay, which group? We'll do that appointments group. Change it from today to right now. Hit OK. Hit OK. I could put those thresholds in if I wanted to. Good thing, no calls in queue. So that's our real-time wallboards. But we can also enhance that and use agent dashboards. Okay, this kind of takes it from a PC or wallboard display and puts it personalized on the agent's PC. Okay, you should now be looking at my desktop. So if I were an agent that had just a single monitor or even a dual monitor, I can install what's called Chronicall Desktop. It's this little icon right here in the middle. Okay, and that auto launches and logs me in every morning when I just come into the office and I log in. It just runs down here in the system tool tray. There's our little Xima logo. But this does a number of different things. For example, when an agent goes on Do Not Disturb, I'll just do a demo here of this. When they go on Do Not Disturb, you can have them enter reason codes. Why did I just go on Do Not Disturb? And this is a customizable list. So every single department, every single user can have their own unique list. And they can come in here and they can be like, you know what, I'm on Do Not Disturb because I'm doing a webinar demo. And then you can run reports on those reason codes. You can see all of that information. You can also get screen pop information of calls coming in or out. Again, I'll demo that as well. because I'm on a demo here, so I don't want those calls. There is a small little pop-up in the right-hand corner, and that's notifying me what kind of calls coming in. I can see it's a sales call. It's coming in on that sales call service queue or hunt list or shared line. If this was a direct, it would just show my direct line. And there I could see who it is that's calling, the location of that call. But what's nice about this from an agent perspective and a company perspective is I can tag account codes or job codes, disposition codes, reason codes. They're referred to a lot of different things, but maybe I want to tag, you know what, this customer was calling about Cisco. Or you know what, I scheduled an appointment. So you could do sub-account codes. You could do free-form account codes. So if you're an insurance company, a lot of times, well, what's your claim number? Well, that's going to be different every single time. You're not going to want to predefine those in there. So you can come in here and select those, and it's going to be like, this is not a predefined account code. Do you want to use it anyway? Yes, I do, because I want to be able to find that call very easily next time. And I can just look that up via that code in our call detail view program. In the report, you can look at that information. That screen pop also has an API to integrate with third-party CRM, such as like Salesforce or Sugar CRM. There, obviously, it's an API, so there's things you'd have to do within your CRM, but we have those APIs available with our agent dashboards. You can also have that pop on outbound calls, great for sales teams and sales environments. So if you want to track, how many outbound calls they're making, but what type of outbound calls are they calling? What happened on that outbound call? Left voicemail. Well, you can track all that information with reason codes very easily. The other nice thing about this from a call center perspective is you could put displays on the agent's PC. So that way they can track their own personal statistics. Let me make that a little bit easier to see there. So there I can see, what's happening, and that's going to rotate between the different values that my supervisor has set up for me. And I can rotate and move that wherever it is that's convenient for me as an agent. Or maybe what I want to do is I want to dock this to my screen. It's kind of sitting there, it's floating. I want to have it just on the left-hand side. Well, I can right-click and dock that. So now it's docked across the top, and you'll notice it moves all my icons down. Okay, or I want that on the left-hand side. Okay, so you can do a lot of different things with the docking station. It's really up to you how you want to do that. And lastly, you have a nice, simple little presence tool. So if you want to see the status of your other agents, maybe I'm thinking about going on Do Not Disturb or I'm logging out. Well, what are the other agents doing? Well, I can see my other agents here. I can see they are available or not, and I can decide, is now a good time to log in or out? I can also chat with those agents. So I see there's a few agents available. Maybe I want to send them a little chat message. Well, I can do that. I can just highlight them and send a little group chat. Okay, opens up this little chat tool. That is kind of a high-level overview of our software. We have some exciting features coming out first of next year, 2018, including screen capture, a wave pad for the call recording, so you can see kind of the peaks and valleys of the audio. You can also do a snippet tool, so if you need to download a specific section of that call. So the overall interface of the recording is being updated and will be coming out soon, which I can show you at a later date and time. Thank you for your time today, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at sales@ximasoftware.com. Again, that's sales@ximasoftware.com. You can schedule a demo. You can do a free 14-day trial. We can extend that if you need more time. We like to leave it as 14 days to start, just to make sure if that's a good fit. And then if you need more time, we can extend that easily. You can also call us at 888-944-9462. Thank you again.